but it's not very, it's not. You better get your smarters ready. You got 'em? Yeah. Good deal.
You don't got sheep.
I got it, thank you.
We got it. 2-minute warning.
Countdown's on.
We're gonna see if we can finish this meeting in.
Boy, that'd be nice.
Challenge accepted. Watch, okay, it may go over to 3 minutes. We'll see how that goes. The newspaper guy, you better write quick. We're gonna skip some words.
Did I put it on her? She was there? Yeah. She was there. You don't think I put her down? She was there. She was there. First one was there. Come.
No,
There you go.
none at all. I don't even know why I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard only Matt's talk about it. And he's really excited about it.
You look tired.
She texted me. Comfortable, buddy. Cool enough.
It's just cool.
We need y'all to get y'all a bubble that you can set in and just frost it down.
I just came from a very heated meeting.
Buddy, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Aaron?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna call the Loudon County Commission workshop to order for October 20th, 2025. First up is public comments. First up is Tracy Hackman.
On tonight's agenda, I believe it's number 5 underneath Gary, 5B, cost of records request to county taxpayers. It's kind of like an open-ended statement, or I really don't know what you call it, because I'm not exactly sure where we're going with it. As far as it costing the taxpayers, I'm not sure that it would cost the taxpayers if everything was put on the website. To me, if there's anything that I'm looking for, whether it be from the time when my grandfather was in government to present time, I try to find it on my own. If I can't find it, I may contact Tammy or Anita and say, hey, do you happen to know where I can find it? Still can't find it, then I put in a records request. I try my best not to bother anybody, but when you can't find the information, you have no other way of getting it unless you put in a records request. So to me, if I want to look up and see, you know, how many lawsuits are we in right now? How much is that costing the taxpayers? I think we're up to what, maybe 10, 13, might be less than that, I don't know, I haven't put in a records request. But it's not on the website. I have no idea how much money we're spending per month on lawsuits. All I can tell is by looking at the budget, basically we doubled from what we had in the last year to what we have this year. And I don't know if that's because we are involved in a lot of lawsuits. If we are the ones that are pursuing the lawsuits or someone else is pursuing the lawsuits against us, I don't know. A lot of things you all don't talk about. Some you do, some you don't. Some questions that we ask, we never get answers to. The only way to get answers is if we ask it in a records request, to try to get somebody to answer those. And I'm not saying that some people, you know, just automatically go through and ask for a records request instead of looking the stuff up themselves? I'm sure there probably is. But in my scenario, I try my best to be respectful of everybody else's time. My time is valuable, their time is valuable, and as a taxpayer, I'm paying for their time. I'm paying for their job, I'm paying for the paper clips, paper, ink, computers, etc. I'm paying for all of you. I'm paying for Buddy. I'm paying for that lawyer. I wanna know what my money's being spent on. And I don't really necessarily want my money spent in the wrong way. But I honestly think that if you all would put everything on the website, then you wouldn't have a lot of records requests. I know for like the schools, whenever I would go through there and I would look in years prior, every March or February, I believe it is, they have their normal annual get-together, and you would get the enrollment. Not anymore. Can't find it. And basically, you have to ask for it in a records request. If you go to the state's website, the state website only has it for the previous year, if you're lucky. You might get the year before that one. But if you want anything current, you have to ask for it in a records request. If there's any other information as far as the budget, I've asked this before and I'll ask it again tonight. I don't know why that we have the budget meeting the day before or the day of a workshop, just hours before. But if I don't have time to come to a budget meeting, then I have no clue what went on, what was on the agenda, or what will be talked about tonight. So therefore, since we don't have any place for public comment after the fact, I may have something that I wanted to say something about, but I can't because I didn't know about it. It's not on the website. If you would put the information there, that would be fine. But she's not gonna have time to get done with a budget meeting at 4 or 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then put all of the information of what you all discussed, decided, and then somebody be able to get it in time for this 6 o'clock meeting tonight. So I wish that you all would change that and move it to a different day, maybe the week before, so that it can be on the agenda that you put out on Thursday or Friday before we have the workshop on Monday. Because to me, the workshop is where everybody's supposed to be able to come together and be able to discuss and debate, and if they have questions, ask them, possibly get answers. We're not getting any of that. And I really think that I would like for y'all to just to change a lot of things to where it's more transparent. You're not being transparent with a lot of things. And I think that if you were more transparent, you wouldn't have so many problems.
Well, and that's one reason I put this on here. I see a lot of folks spending a lot of time doing, so that's my big question. And that's why it's an open-ended, is there a better way? I know Lenore City, Loudon City makes you fill out some kind of paperwork to request a record. I think more things should be on the website. I think we need to get towards that direction. So that's the reason it's an open-ended question. It's really a fact-finding mission for me.
Rich Anklin.
Rich Ankman from Teleco Village. I have the same concern that the previous speaker had. What is the cost for the records? And if those records are already electronic, it's nothing to hit the button and send it back to me. And are you all gonna be charged for the same records that I have to get? In other words, if you want a record on budget, or if you want a record on jail, or if you want a record on lawsuits, are you gonna be paying the same thing I'm paying?
Well, I didn't put this on here to talk about charging anyone. It's the cost that it costs the county as a whole to produce all these records. Every time somebody calls and asks for a record, that employee has to stop, go find the records, pull them, spend her hours or his hours. What does that actually cost this county at the end of each month, at the end of each quarter, at the end of each year? You all have the same issue as we have a lot of elected officials, and if you need something from the property assessor's office, it's just as hard for us to call, and for you all as a citizen to call property assessors and say, I need this records request. Then that turns around and goes to Tammy, then it goes to Anita. Should that request go straight to the property assessor, he provides you with your information? Should it go to Anita if it's from the mayor's office? How is all this working together? And that's what I'm trying to figure out a better
It depends on who you
solution.
designated the records coordinator. Adam's the records coordinator for the Loudon County. So
That's a new employee.
Yeah.
So that's about a $70,000 a year cost.
Right. When I sued the BOA for records and took them to court, the judge clearly stated they had a right to charge, but not what you're talking about.
I don't know a number.
In other words, they wanted the general manager to get paid, they wanted his assistant to get paid, they wanted his clerk to get paid. It got to be like $100, $200, $300 for a simple record. If we're talking about something like that, I don't agree with this proposal whatsoever.
And that's not my proposal.
Yeah. And as I said, if it's an electronic version, just hit the button and send it back. Doesn't take 15 minutes, and I understand that disrupts maybe the records coordinator, but as it was said previously, we pay for the records coordinator, just like we pay everybody else here.
Well, who do you determine as your records coordinator?
Well, Anita is the main records coordinator that I know of. That's where I go when I want.
So Anita is Buddy's administrative assistant, so she's dealing with everything that comes into the county.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're asking her to do a lot of work, but also be a records coordinator,
Right.
administrative assistant, and everything that she has to do.
I don't dispute that at all. But if the record is electronic and or if it's up on a website, you don't need a records coordinator. We can do our own lookup. Thank you.
I agree. Somebody has to input all that information. They have to pull it from different elected officials to get there. And I'm with you, and that may be the solution, but that's another employee.
Where are we on updating the county website? Does anybody know?
I know that the website's up. It's not where we need, to be. I have a meeting scheduled next week to do a little bit of follow-up work on it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Lisa Vinton.
Hi, good evening. Last time I was here was in April, and I talked about the litter pickup that I have volunteers doing. We've picked up over 423 bags of trash since February, including a lot of debris and tires in the county. I'm here to talk a little bit quickly about the issue we have on Highway 72 between the Loves and just before the landfill. The landfill section, that half mile that they're required by contract, I have been able to work closely with Teresa Fox, and they are keeping it very clean. So that's been a really good cooperation, a really good relationship. I've also worked with Jellystone. They're cleaning up Corporate Park from 72 to Jellystone. The concern, though, is that area has gotten so bad because of the landfill trucks and a lot of other stuff going on that even I can't keep up with it. We had a group of people out 3 weeks on October 1st, and we picked up 20 bags between the Lions Club and the Honda. I couldn't even get to the motion plant. I know back in January, Mr. Whitfield provided me with a letter from the attorney stating his opinion on who's responsible for that. It says in here TDOT's responsible for that section. I talked to TDOT. They have sent me a letter stating that according to Tennessee Code 545202, they don't spend money or labor inside a municipality, that it is up to the city, as we all know. So the city doesn't have the resources. I've been working with them. They do 2 cleanups a year. I've been doing pickups within the city and the county. It's just not enough. That's an area that's used as a destination point for people to go to Jellystone Park, to Tennessee National. So I had reached out to the litter grant, and they had shared with me that it is not a violation of a litter grant for the inmates to be used on that stretch of road, even though it's city. And so I received a letter from the director who told me that there was no prohibition on the usage of the funds in city limits and that such a decision would be up to the county on how they allocate their funding. So I then have been talking to the sheriff's department, talking to Amy, she's been amazing, and also to Victoria with the litter grant program. They told me again, it is not a violation of the litter grant for the prisoners to work on that stretch of road. Basically says the prisoners may be utilized, this is a law that was created, I have documents if anybody wants copies. The prisoners may be utilized by municipalities within the county by mutual agreement between the county sheriff and the CEO of the municipality, and they can pick up the litter on that stretch of the road. So, basically what I'm asking today, because I have done a lot of work on this, not to mention the fact I've actually been out on the street myself, is to see if we can, at least on times, allow the inmates to work on that stretch of road between 72 at the Love's gas station and the section just a quarter mile this side of the landfill. It may be a mile, mile and a quarter stretch. Like I said, I've been doing it, my crew's been doing it on occasion. I can't get to all of it, as you know, it's a big county. The last thing, and my husband has 2 letters to read as well, but the litter grant manual is incorrect, and they did tell me that today, that it says in there that it's not to be used in the city, but that's not correct. And she's going to send an email to me, which I haven't received, to clarify that. The last piece of this is, instead of us kicking the can down the road literally, I'm really asking Mayor Bradshaw if you would please have the Litter Control Committee meet. I would love to participate in that. I'm only asking for an opportunity to share all the ideas that I have to pick up litter within our county and our cities and work together with the 4 cities and the county to make that possible. And I do have a lot of really good ideas, but I haven't been able to get anybody to sit down with me to really be able to share those so that we can be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. I don't have to tell you how bad the litter is here in our county. It's gotten bad. We had an influx of people. We have landfill that now is taking in from other areas more than they were before. And I'm willing to do what we need to do. Like I said, picking up trash, talking to people, but I think it's also important if we can get together and work together as a team. And if you would please put the committee together, I would love to participate in that. And that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank
Well,
you.
The litter committee, it goes back to when Loudon County was an affiliate with Keep Tennessee Beautiful. We're not affiliates at this current time with them, so
Okay,
it's not met, and I know at least 11 years, I'm not sure when.
yeah,
And my biggest issue with picking up inside the city, using that, is that we've got over, I guess somewhere in the range of 600 miles of road
I understand.
in the county. And asking, which our city residents are county residents too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But more of them being neglected, and I know the city doesn't wanna get in the middle of this, that, but they've got street sweepers, they've got people just like we do. And would it be, you know, I'm not gonna, and again, my wife works for utilities, I know every one of those city councilmen, know most of the city employees. But are they gonna get instructed to go outside the city limits to pick up on the county roads? And that's not a knock on the city at all, but, you know, inside the city limits, I would like to see just, them take responsibility for it.
And I don't disagree with any of that, and that's why I'm saying if we could somehow come together and find out ways with a committee or a group, how we can all work together. Because right now, TDOT says they'll take responsibility from the landfill out 72, and so will the inmates. So now that's being double handled and stuff within the city isn't. So that's all I'm asking, is to see if we can't find a way to work together.
Certainly try, thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Benton.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm going to read the 2 letters that Lisa mentioned. The first one is from Watts Bar Lake Jellystone Park and Camp Resort. Dear Commissioners, I'm writing on behalf of Watts Bar Lake Jellystone Park to express our concern about the increasing litter along Highway 72 and Corporate Park Drive. We've been working with Lisa Vinton, and before the summer season began, our team took the initiative to take over cleaning Corporate Park Drive, sending a crew out at least once a month. While we are committed to doing our part to help keep the area looking its best, it has been disheartening to see how quickly trash and debris, especially discarded cups, accumulate along these roadways. Our guests come from all over the country, many traveling long distances to visit the area. Their first impression when they exit the interstate should reflect the natural beauty and pride of Loudon County, not the sight of littered roadsides. Maintaining a clean and welcoming approach to our community benefits not only our park, but all local businesses and residents. We appreciate the efforts the county has already made in addressing litter and beautification, and we would be grateful for any additional support or coordination that could keep this area clean. Whether that involves scheduled cleanups, signage, or community partnerships, we're happy to assist in any way possible. Thank you for your attention to this matter and for your continued service to our community. Sincerely, Joanna Mason, Manager. The second letter is from Mayor Jeff Harris of the City of Loudon. The City of Loudon is committed to keeping our city streets and community clean and litter-free. We applied several years ago for affiliation with Keep Tennessee Beautiful and are currently recognized as an affiliate of KTNB. Our campaign is titled Looking Good, Loudon, and we host 2 litter pickups per year, one in the spring and one in the fall. As you know, recruiting volunteers to help pick up litter is hard to do, and that is why we only have 2 organized events per year. The City of Loudon would welcome any extra help provided by the trustees from the Loudon County Sheriff's Department anytime they would be available. The main area of focus, where most of the trash accumulates, is on Highway 72 between Love's Truck Stop and the Loudon County landfill. Any assistance with a litter pickup along this stretch of highway would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your consideration of this request. Respectfully submitted, Jeff Harris. As Lisa said, it's just a key area. Not only our residents and visitors throw stuff out, but because of coming from the freeway and taking the trash to the county landfill, it is a major area of issue. And if we could keep that one clean, that would be very helpful and appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Hunter.
My name is Pat Hunter, and I would like to start off by thanking Jack Walls for providing all the information with regards to the presentation that he's going to make. All the other items did not have supporting documentation. I attend the budget committee meetings, so I get to get a copy of these, but it would be nice to have those on the agenda because then everyone can see what's going on. And to attend a 3 or 4 o'clock meeting is hard for most people, especially working people. So I think the more information that you put on the website, the better off you're gonna be. I know I make a records request every month for that information because minutes are no longer, passed out. So I would like to see what you're approving. I think that as taxpayers, we have a right to know how our government works. And I'm going to brag on the mayor. The mayor ran on transparency. He ran on accountability. And I really appreciate that because, the previous mayors, Mayor Arp, was just the opposite. So the mayor has done everything that I know of to try to get as much information out there. And he's really great at the budget time. I offer to buy my book every year. I have money in my pocket, and it's at his discretion whether I pay for it or not. The thing about other cities, I can tell you that if I go to a planning commission meeting in Lenore City, this is what they give you. It's out there. If you want it, fine. If you don't, it's still there. If you want an agenda or packet, the lady with the planning says, remind me. That's all you have to do. You don't have to fill out a form, nothing. And I think that's how it should be. Now, I think what people don't understand is the records policy falls within each department head. So if I want to go get a deed, I go to the deeds office. They don't charge. If I want something from the assessor's office, I go to the assessor's office. If I need something from Mr. Jenkins, I go see him, and or I'll ask him in an email. He's very good. He does it when he gets around to it. I'm in no hurry. It's usually something related to something on your agenda. So I think the more information that you have, the better off you are, or we are. But I am concerned because at the last meeting, there were 2 agenda items, and one was a resolution that Mr. Shaver passed out, and some statistics. It should have been on the agenda. It took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get that information. That's ridiculous. I wanted to know the cost. What did it cost for Mr. Shaver to talk to the attorney? I was sent the invoices for the last 3 months. I wasn't ready for the cost of our legal. I realized that it went from $203,000 in 23-24 to the budget now is $490,000. That's a 56.73% increase. Somehow I got a copy of my assessment, and my assessment is going to go up 66%. If it's rolled back to $1.50, I'm going to pay nearly $400. So it's gonna have to be a whole lot less, and even at $1.30, it's still going to be a $200 tax increase on top of the one that I just had. So I am concerned in looking for the cost of the resolution. I was flabbergasted when I saw that in 1 month, the county paid $70,600.89. In another month, $43,763.10. And in October, $30,484, for a total of $144,848. That shocked me. I think we need to do a better job of being transparent and also cutting costs. So if we're going to look at hiring a records custodian, we really need a coordinator, because the coordinator would be at the discretion of the mayor, and that person would send whatever request. If you wanted animal statistics, animal shelter, it would go to the animal shelter. If you wanted other records, it goes to the respective department head. So no one has to go and dig for records. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just make one quick note. Ms. Hunter's statement that she spent 2 weeks looking at the documents I had, she never contacted me, so I had them available the night of and for weeks after that. So just want to clarify that one little point right there. One short contact with me, and she
It should have been on the agenda, on the package.
wasn't just debating,
Packet,
just
Mr. Shaver.
giving the information. It was as it is.
Just a quick update for everybody on the attorney fees, they are high. A significant portion of that is the Cook lawsuit. As most of you all know, the insurance has taken over the lawsuit. So moving forward, they'll take it over, and we're also going to apply and request, don't know what the answer will be, but they reimburse us for the portion Crown Racing is covered on the Cook lawsuit as well.
And while we're there, and I have my note here, this Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock, Loudon County Courthouse, if his attorney is prepared this time, this will be the 3rd time he's kind of been off the rails, but we should have our hearing down here at the courthouse. So I don't have a clue how it'll turn out. Either way, it's not going to change anything, but hopefully the judge will understand that this body has the authority to make zoning regulations.
Well, my thing on it is, if we don't spend, we're gonna have lawsuits. If we're trying to do what's right for this county and control the growth, we're gonna have lawsuits, because it makes people mad. So we're gonna have to deal with lawsuits. That means our legal fees are gonna go up. I mean, I get more phone calls that we're doing the right thing by slowing it down. If we continue to do that, we're gonna continue to get lawsuits. There's nothing we can do about it.
Maybe one of the best compliments for this body was that Loudon County, state of Tennessee, Loudon County is the standard for controlled development. I took that as very much a compliment.
And I can tell you from being here for a couple of years, lawsuits are up and down. We'll go through a cycle, and I mean, we'll just get down to almost nothing. Then we make changes in zoning, or we do something, or somebody does whatever, somebody don't like it. We'll have legal fees this year, and then next year it may go back down. So it's very cyclical in how it works. We're just at a high point right now, but it's part of the cost of doing business. I guess we just bend over and take whatever somebody wants to give us, but that's not, seems to be the nature of this body.
We're supposed to be protecting and in charge of the integrity of the county, the political boundaries within, that make up the county. And it's not, I don't think it's prudent for the county just to look the other way when people want to impinge on property that's not theirs, doesn't belong to them, or wants to take it in. There are rules and laws, TCA, proper way of going about things, and like I said, I think we've been more than forward to say that we try to do that. But like, just to voice what it's a cost of doing business. You can sit here and just do nothing because you're afraid you're gonna get in a lawsuit, and then see where you end up at. No, we've tried to protect the interests of the people in the county, and it just, I don't like lawsuits at all. Especially when we don't win them. If we win them, they're fine, but yeah.
Even if we win, it costs us money.
It does.
Win or lose, it costs the same.
But-
We're on a pretty good roll of winning though.
But I just don't think you can just sit back and say, you know, if you wanna let City A annex 100 of your acres, and you just said, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll have to go to court if we, but we can just sit here and, okay, they can have that. Or if somebody wants to come, we wanna put 500 houses next door to where you live. Okay, go ahead. If we stop you, we'll have to go to court. So we don't wanna go to court, so you go ahead and build your houses. That may be oversimplifying, but I still think it is incumbent upon us that we protect the rights of the county and our property. And right now, the people in Loudon County like controlled growth. They like to see the mountains, the trees, the rivers, the hills that they moved here for. And it's hard to see that when hundreds or thousands of rooftops are between you and that view. Okay, end of speech. Now that was an unpaid for advertising.
Jim Jenkins.
Thank you, Commissioners. Items A through D will all be resolutions amending the zoning map of Loudon County, Tennessee, pursuant to Chapter 7 and 13-7-105 of the Tennessee Code annotated, with item A being to rezone from A2 Rural Residential District, A3 Developing Agricultural District, Loudon County Tax Map 51, Parcel 4609, located at 28374 Highway 95, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 3rd Legislative District, approximately 2 1-acre lots. Only this was recommended by Planning Commission.
2 1-acre. I was trying to remember what that was. 2 1-acre lots, okay.
B.
And this will be the rezone from A1 Agricultural Forestry District, A2 Rural Residential District, Loudon County Tax Map 18, Parcel 70, located at 3990 Pine Grove Providence Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 5th Legislative District, approximately 1 3-acre lot only. This was recommended by Planning Commission.
C.
This will be the rezone from A1 Agricultural Forestry District, A3 Developing Agricultural District, Loudon County Tax Map 36, Parcel 109, located at 13503 Antioch Church Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in 3rd Legislative District, approximately 1 acre only, and was recommended by Planning Commission.
D.
And this will be the rezone from A2 Rural Residential District, A3 Developing Agricultural District, Loudon County Tax Map 12, Parcel 8 and 10, located at 13116 Boyd Station Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 6th Legislative District, and was recommended by Planning Commission.
Now you've added E because it didn't make the packet.
Yes, sir. I would request that entertain let me add item E. My office let this out, a draws packet. This is a resolution of Loudon County Commission accepting Cedar Branch Trail, Cherry Blossom, and Dogwood Place. These are roads that are in the Grove at Cedar Hill subdivision into the public road system. It was recommended by planning commission. The highway department has, inspected the roads, said they're suitable, ready for acceptance. There was a question on stormwater that I mentioned that night because of some inlet protection on 2 drains. As I understand, this week or last week, that TDEC has, released a notice of coverage on that. So they've approved their notice of coverage should be terminated.
So the SWIP is done?
It is, yes, sir.
We still have a year though, if we find issues, we still have a year that we.
There's some things in our zoning that talks about a year after, still having to do any maintenance, things of that nature.
And I know that HOA is in favor of this as well.
They are.
So,
Whose development is this?
we're just moving on.
Well, this will be a John Cook development, just in case anybody wanted to know.
I'm just, HOA would like these roads approved, and I know Billy's approved them, so I'm working with the HOA and our road commissioner.
Jim, it'll all be on November 3rd.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Jim.
Jack Falls.
Thank you, Chairman, Commission. The developer at this time would like to remove this item for consideration.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
all right. Matt Kleinschmidt.
I have the rate for the Humana Advantage plan for our retirees. The rate for 2026 is $225.30 per person per month. That's a $10 increase per person. According to HR, there are 92 people on this plan, so that equates to $11,040 total throughout the whole year. Increase.
Any questions? You'll need a vote on November 3rd.
Yep.
It'll be on there.
All right, thank you.
Gary Whitfield, Commissioner Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to just put on the agenda just to kind of start thinking about a conversation about records requests. So I see Nita, I see other people spending days working on records requests, and I think, you know, Ms. Hunter made a point that when she needs something, a lot of times she goes to the property assessor, she goes to different departments, but I think in most general public, they all go straight to Anita, and then Anita tries to do the right thing, and she goes out and she tries to get all this information and bring it all in, and I see her get pretty stressed out, and I see her spend a lot of time doing this. I do think we need to explore getting information electronically on the website, but I know it's, we have to go to other elected officials and try to get them to do that with their current personnel. So I don't know what the solution is. I see I think it's a big cost to the county. I'd like to see what that cost is. I'd like for us to track that cost somehow with our, especially with your employees, Mayor. And I'm gonna ask other departments to track it with their employees to see what it's costing. I wanna explore getting this more electronically. I wanna explore a records custodian. You know, we know an average employee at our starting wage, by the time you put in insurance and other things, we're close to $70,000 a year for that employee. That's the only reason I put it on there. I just want some information, and I'd like for us to start thinking about it, having conversations about it. I don't know that this is something we can take care of in 2 weeks. You know, this may be 4 or 5 months worth of information gathering, so I just want it to be aware, and I think it's becoming a big cost to this county.
So what would it take for us to put in a FOIA request document? You fill it out, put the department on that you want the request from. Then when that department head gets it, then he can track how long that employee spends
I think that
on
could
that
be.
request.
Well, it's not that simple, excuse me to interject here, it's not that simple, because there's a game people play. There's document inspections, and document request. If someone wants to inspect documents, they say, I don't have to fill out a form, you just have to show me these documents. But if they actually want physical copies of these documents, they're supposed to fill out a form. So what should happen is someone wants to inspect, they should come down to the county office building, they should be granted these records to view, and then leave the records here for other people to view. Otherwise, people come in and ask for 200, 300, 400 pages of documents, print them out, they take them home. So I mean, there's two different avenues to review documents, inspections versus actual request. So it's hard to track when people do all these inspections that still require a lot of time. And then I also think people asking for like a list of how many cats were taken into the shelter may exist. If that document doesn't exist, the answer is we don't have that document, versus people trying to take an hour to go back and count every cat that came through the front door.
Let's say
So, I
you
mean,
say that hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
You just pick cats at animal
Okay.
shelter.
Laws, whatever you want to say, you know, but I'm just saying there's also, sorry, that record doesn't exist versus, you know, the animal shelter spending 3 hours going through looking at every intake form for the past, 12 months. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
But couldn't we not put on that FOIA request, inspection, or?
They don't have to fill out a form for inspection.
The lion's share of the timing is usually the gathering of the information. And since I have, not that I know of, I can't think of any, I have never charged for a request or an inspection.
And I'm not advocating
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah,
I'm just
but
advocating for
I
a
think Richard said, they get charged, I don't charge anybody, that's just, one of the things I promised to do 11 years ago. But I think that probably what the biggest thing to track would be time consumption. If we could, most of 95% of the stuff is sent electronically anyway. Certainly my folks can, I can request it to other offices. If we wanna track the time, then, they can jot down, hey, I spent 15 minutes this, or I spent, there may be cases where, I spent 7, 8 hours. And there may be some, 5 minutes, but there may be more than that even, it just depends on what the request ultimately.
I think volume 2, the number of pages.
And I think that's.
I think that's one
as
to
far
track
as
too.
On
gathering
document,
of the information.
on document inspection, do we have a secured office or something where people can look at them? Or
There's
they
all
just-
kinds of rooms up there at the county.
I mean, just,
County
they
office
take them
building.
wherever they want to and look at
Well,
them?
there's the budget room where we used to meet for workshops, and there's plenty of space up there for people to sit.
Do we have any idea how many public records requests we get per month, per year? I mean, is there?
We've never really tracked it.
That document doesn't
It's
exist.
I'm gonna put a public records request in for that.
To find out how many public record requests, I love
Like you
that.
see, no such record exists, but then if we needed to sit there and go back through her emails for the past 12 months, she can compile a list. So I mean, it's.
But by law, you don't have to compile a list. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist.
What I was getting back to my question though is, sounds like a loosely supervised inspection system where you here's the records you want to inspect and you go find a spot where you want to. That doesn't mean I can't just stick them in a briefcase and walk out with them.
But
Yeah.
Most places have a designated place for document inspection. Where they come, and, I would expect there would be cameras or video or so forth, even though if it may be counting cats, which may not be a threat to national security, it is, I just wondered if we're going to, that just popped up, I thought, well, if we just, here, go look at them, when you get done with them. I have a problem with that process. I think it needs to be a little more.
I don't have a scientific theory or nothing, but I think probably what we see if we start this, if that's what commission will, I'll be happy to track it, will be that the lion's share will be the preparation and.
Absolutely.
evaluation rather than-
And I think that's what Gary wasn't saying, we need to charge people. He was just saying,
Yeah. I
when
wasn't
we,
lying.
when we go through all this, what does it,
What's it cost us?
what's it cost us to pay those employees to do that? I'm like you, I don't want, unless somebody comes in and wants the Encyclopedia Britannica, not to charge them, for whatever they want, but I do think we could be a little more judicious in how we care for the records and who's looking at them, and Are they semi-secured? Do we get them all back? And do you get to the point where we realize we need somebody to handle that?
I think it's important to make note too, and we can do a record request to find out if I'm telling the truth. 99% of your requests are coming from 1, 2, or 3 people. This is not like we have folks lined up at like election time trying to get in and get public record requests. This is 1, 2, or 3 people in a weekly basis. You may have the very random one, especially from crazy stuff, some of the I won't say out of state, but from far, far away here that wants some really nutty sounding stuff. But what we're talking about is the time spent for 1, 2, or 3 local folks that's just always needing records.
So I'm just looking for a solution, maybe save a little money. Can we track it better? Can we do a better job with putting packets together? Can we, what's the solution? I don't know the solution. I just want to start investigating.
Are these related to recent, like we have a meeting tonight and somebody comes in and wants to view the minutes of our meeting?
Now, those are available.
Or somebody comes in and says, I need.
You can read your most recent one if you wanted to.
What I'm beating the bush to death about is, I know have done some work on replacing, rearranging the county's website. And this is, we don't have to get into great detail now, but the term electronic files make it access. What would we possibly be looking at to make that a more expeditious process? It's the meeting over tonight. As soon as Tammy gets done, bam, they're uploaded to the website.
But what is there tonight that we've generated that Tammy? I'm just saying, what is there from tonight that Tammy would need to upload?
Well, you talked about the cats at the animal shelter, so in the morning, there'll be a request in wanting to know how many cats we've sold at the animal shelter in the last 12 months. That's how it works. It's taken out of context here, then the request will be out in the morning to Tammy. Where's that document? Here's a picture of him holding it up. Where's that document?
Actually, that document doesn't exist.
The cat. This is the kind of request we're dealing with. It's not people hunting serious things. It's where's the document? He had it in his hand. Here's a picture of it. I want this document. It's available, readily available. So that's more of what it is than it is judicious issues.
So I'm just looking for a solution, a conversation.
I would say take them.
I can say I started.
Get my folks, we can start gathering data.
Let Buddy start putting it together.
So nothing to put on November 3rd.
How about a select committee on documents?
I'll need a records request to find out what that committee is.
Okay. Commissioner Waller.
We dealt with this with Davis Lane up in the 5th district, how dump trucks just tore that road up and had to be repaved. Rebuilt. North Shore Drive is taking a ton of dump truck traffic right now coming out of Knox County going I don't know where. Going to Chick-fil-A the other day, Town Creek's getting annihilated, Marshall Road's getting beat up. So I don't know what we need to do to protect our roads from all these heavy trucks. And I don't know what we can do because we ran into the issue on Davis Lane, but I'm gonna just want to discuss this and we'll talk about it more next month, but just see what suggestions Bob Bowman has that we can do within our legal means.
We're having the same thing emerging in District 3 since we become the rock quarry capital of the world over there. The uptake in the number of heavily loaded dump trucks on the roads over there, and they are unsafe. Every time I meet one, they are driving like a bat out of.
Jesus, take the wheel, brother.
Yes, but the number on the roads, the number out on the roads has just increased exponentially, and we have some side roads that look like you jackhammered them.
Yeah.
I'm with you, in front of.
No.
Well, I do think we need to get with Bob. If we look at our roads, it's probably the top 3 largest asset this county has is our roads. And we've got to figure out, that's a major expense.
I called Bob Thursday, so I'll just bring that up as well and ask for some help and what we can do for some relief on that.
I'm like you, I'm seeing it all over the county.
Yeah.
Big dump trucks and
especially when they're full, packed with dirt or rock.
That's all this growth we're having.
That's absolutely, but they're all come through the county to get to the cities, is the problem. I'll tell you two birds, one stone. We have a lawsuit. Jim Jenkins is very aware of it. We have a gentleman operating an extremely illegal commercial operation in an R2 zone up in my district, of course.
A2.
Our district, huh?
A2.
I think it's A1. Is it A2, Jim?
Well, you said R2.
Whatever it
You
is.
said R2.
Whatever it is, it's not legal. So Jim has been polite and kind and sent friendly letters, please stop doing that. And then Jim sends a letter, please stop doing that. So Bob Bowman sent a letter, please stop doing that. So now we've sued him. His trucks in and out of that place have destroyed Town Creek Road East. I mean, it's just everywhere it's rutted all up and down through there and going to completely destroy it. He has now been told to stop doing it. We'll see you in court, still doing it. I don't know what you do with people like that. Those that are so opposed to spending legal fees, you just let it go? Is that the answer? Oh, never mind, you just go ahead and violate the law all you want to.
Well, I had a conversation with Jim this morning. We've got an eyesore. He's tried and tried and tried.
Yep.
The next step is sending it to Bob Bowman.
I don't know what else you do.
Either you do it or you continue to look at the eyesore.
Yeah. And just
unsafe.
Just let county regs just fall by the wayside, and if you don't enforce it here, how you gonna enforce it there, or over there?
If you don't enforce it here, you better go to Monroe County. Look at what's happening down there.
Absolutely. You won't see what that looks like, go to Monroe County.
But, you know, we're right on the heels of being, our roads are, are suffering now, and like I said, that when you get to that point where what is it, $100 million a foot for asphalt? I mean, excuse me, just kidding. But it is expensive to asphalt the roads, but while it is a business, it's killing our roads.
$110,000 a mile, is that right?
Something like that.
That's the top.
That's just to put asphalt on top of it. Davis Lane, 1 mile was $675,000 to fix it. It didn't get top coated, it had to be replaced.
I was gonna say Fork Creek Road, 3/4 of a mile was almost $600,000.
But they're making money. Tear the roads up, they don't care as long as they're making some money.
I'll get with Bob on Thursday and ask what we have at our disposal. Thank you, Chairman.
Anything you want to add to the agenda, or just let it ride?
Add it on there and I'll see what we have in the next 2 weeks,
All right,
if you would. Thank you.
let us know.
Well, please add it and I'll let you know what we have.
He said let you know.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Aaron, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are the items that were recommended by the budget committee. The SRO retention bonus, which is $800 per eligible SRO. There's 11 that are currently eligible. There was a request to make some adjustment in wages in the juvenile department, which overall will have a savings of $4,415. There was a recommendation for an approval for the 2026 DGA health grant with no matching funds. It's $744,200. In County General Fund 101, the adjustments or the amendments included the DGA grant, the Homeland Security Grant 2023, which was approved a few years ago, and the adjustments for the juvenile center in the wages. Overall, it's going to be a decrease to the fund balance by $2,586. In Public Libraries Fund 115, the amendments were all within the individual subfunds. It was $2,000.43 at the Greenback Library subfund, which is a decrease. $1,288 decrease at Tellico Village Library their subfund. So overall, the effect on fund balance will be a decrease of $3,331. In the Highway Fund 131, there was an adjustment to the state aid revenue and expense, which offsets each other. Recognition of insurance recovery for a problem that happened with a damaged light. anyways, overall, the amendments will decrease the fund balance by $1,000. In general purpose school fund, 141, overall, the amendments will decrease the fund balance by $71,741. There will be amendments in federal projects, school fund 142. Those amendments will have no bearing on the fund balance. In school cafeteria fund 143, overall, the amendments will increase the fund balance by $56,741. In general capital projects fund 171, the amendments recognize insurance recovery that was used for paying at the health department and vehicle trade-in that was approved on June 30th. Overall, those amendments will decrease the fund balance by $85,363. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Aaron, you may have said it, but I just wanna make sure we're clear on it. $800 retention bonus for SROs, that is a straight grant. The county's not funding out a bunch more money
We receive that money from the state.
from the state.
And so we apply for it, and if we get the money from the state, then we pay it out.
That's right.
So it's kind of like a reimbursement program,
Right.
but we wait until the money comes in before we start it. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further comments?
I have one thing. After a lot of going back and forth with the public services, they have agreed to pave the interior of the landfill for 1,000 feet, which will be from the road up past the wheel wash. So we'll see what that does. It helps improve, if it helps improve the situation inside the landfill with the mud. So
That
is
take a
all.
lawsuit to get there.
it took a lot of work.
Mr. Chairman? Can't make a
Anything
motion,
else?
I think we're done.
Okay, I'll consider this meeting adjourned.
Salute.
I said Joe's fault. I've done it a lot.
Public request?
See you.